good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us on our latest Monday.com user group session. Always good to see a few familiar faces here. Thanks for coming along. So we're October. It's pouring rain outside, where I am anyway at the moment. Hope it's better where you are. We're just going to take you through a few new features and stuff as usual today. Myself and Amy are going to run through some of those with you today. So looking forward to showing you that. Just some of the usual kind of notes and details of what we're going to do today. So about half an hour, we're going to show you a couple of new features that we think are interesting from the new features that Monday have released. As you know, if you're a frequent Monday user, there are always new features coming every week, every month. There's something new being added, some new functionality, some new feature. And we try and pick out the best of those and show those to you today. I'm happy to take any questions, either when we're talking about the features or afterwards, whatever works for you. Happy to answer them. If we can't answer them today, happy to have a call with you directly to address something specific you might have a question about. We are recording this. We will share the recording with you afterwards. We will also send you a survey after, just asking for a bit of feedback. Really appreciate your feedback. If you can share with us, just helps us make sure we're bringing you stuff that's relevant to what we want to see on it. I'm going to stop talking for a moment then. I'm going to hand over to Amy and she's going to run through a few different features for you now. So over to you, Amy.
Perfect. Thank you, Martin. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you, the regular faces again, and hello to all the new ones. So there's a few features that I thought were quite interesting from the last quarter that I wanted to go over. I'm going to start with the work scheduler. So they've been an improvement made for resource planning on this. I'm just going to share my screen so I can show you where it is that you would find this. Are you guys able to see my screen okay?
Yep.
Perfect. So this here is obviously the boards that I'm working on, but if I wanted to amend the work scheduler, I'd click on my avatar here up to the top right. And this, you would have to have administration access for this. So basically this is you can see here that the work scheduler feature has been added, and this is basically going to be able to schedule hours for the teams that are working. It could be for the whole company or for specific teams, and just basically be able to show what their availability is. So if I click in here and I'm going to add a schedule, and you can see here, if you're lucky enough to not work your 9 to 6 on your Monday to Friday, you can amend this by certain days or hours, whatever it is specific to your team. So I'll leave it as is for now. Click on to next. But what I'll actually do is amend this week. So we'll say from today to the end of the week, I'm going to actually mark off some off-site time. And then that way, anybody who will be looking for that team, I'll show you now. I'm going to add it. So you can see here it turns to red, so it means that we're off-site. And now what I'm going to do is select a specific team that I want this to be for. So I'm going to use the fabulous marketing team. And then once I click on finish, what I want to do then, if I go back to my boards, and from here then what I want to do is add some items to the actual marketing team, or add the team table to certain items. So if I type in here the marketing team and add them to that specific item, I've also added Shauna to the marketing team. So if I click on a specific item for Shauna, and then I'm going to add a specific item for myself, and you can see that I've already put in the dates associated to that item. So now what I want to do is click into a new view and add the workload view. Adding this then to the board while it's just loading. This is just going to give me an overview of a calendar, we'll say, of each team. And what I want to do here is actually change the this section to days. And you can see that we can see on this week, so the items, so this here means basically what's marked in red is that they're unavailable. So that specific team or that specific person, and Shauna will show up that she's unavailable because she is within the marketing team as well. And then you can see here that this a little alert, it basically lets us know that there's a schedule item for the day that she's not available. So that's really interesting as well. And I think just having that power of being able to see exactly where, or not even power, but just be able to schedule your workload better within Teams as well, and to see what kind of workload is within Teams also is quite good. So I think that this here was quite a good feature that they've added. Is there any questions? I can see Martin, you look like you're going to ask me a
I've
question
got
there.
questions on it anyway. So I suppose, yeah, use cases then in terms of where you might use it would be, I'm thinking, for example, we've got people in the UK and people in Ireland, so sometimes bank holidays are different. So we might put that in, let's say for UK people, we could put in UK bank holidays. For Irish people, we could put in place Irish bank holidays. Just a simple example, I guess, where it could be used. Or like that, if you had people maybe who didn't work, like you said, who only worked 4 days a week, let's say, you could always have them scheduled off on the fifth day or something like that. So yeah, quite interesting, quite a good way of doing it.
The only thing is that it's only specific per team, so we can't actually do an individual
Oh, right,
user.
okay.
That's the only thing.
Okay.
But I think that is something though that is coming in the pipeline.
Yeah.
That's in the pipeline to come. Because that's I think, as you say, it's a really good feature, and you know there is a lot more of work-life balance these days. So it is something that is more popular, we'll say, that people are doing, not the 5 days. So yeah, that is something that is coming. I just don't know when it is, but for now it's just specifically for teams,
Cool.
which is quite good. So what I wanted to show you guys next then, it's just a small feature, but it's been able to, it's just, so previously, it's basically been able to add a team as an owner of a board or a dashboard or a document. So previously, it would have just been an individual that would have been able to be an owner of these. So I'll show you here, and again, I'm going to use the fabulous marketing team. So I can see here that it'll be 4 members that are going to own this board, which is great. And I think it's just going to be able to, it's a great improvement for being able to share the workload, being able to share what is being done. And I think it's really important that, you know, any board that isn't private should actually be owned by a team. I think it's just a great improvement that they've made. Any questions on that one?
Just on that then, I suppose, Amy, the idea being that we've come across this before, I think people brought up in the past, where typically up to now a board has been owned by one single person. And the problem could be then if they are out or if they leave or something like that, and they're the owner of the board, then the problem is it's hard to make changes to it or to change automations or change permissions. So instead, ideally what we'd do in this instance, I guess, would be as you said, by default, make a team always an owner of a board. So then, irrespective of the team changing or people coming or going, somebody still has the right level of permissions and access to change things.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Because the last thing you want is for so much information that has been worked on by an individual to be inaccessible. Which kind of brings me then to my next feature, we'll say. So this has just been brought up a few times because there has been in the last month or so, because there has been a lot of change, I find, with companies, with people leaving, people coming in, and just people moving around with different teams and stuff. But you can actually now just deactivate. Sorry, well, it's not deactivate. It's transferring of ownership of the integrations and automations. So again, if we pop up to the avatar and then click into admin settings, again, you'd have to have an admin role to be able to do this. So you click into users. Now you are able to do it like from up here. So you do it in this step and then over to automations. But the quicker way to do it now is, so if we just type in someone, and we have Graham here, and if I just click on the settings button over here, deactivate user, and it populates here of who I want to have that transfer of all automations and any integrations that were set up by Graham to be moved on to somebody else. And then you can just deactivate the user. It's just cleaner, it's more thorough, and it's done a lot quicker.
Great. So the idea being that before you deactivate them, you reassign their permissions and so on. So if you want to make changes after they've gone, it's too late currently unless you do that. Yeah.
because we have found, there has been cases where, an automation has been set up by somebody that has left and that step hasn't been done. And then the boards just kind of go a bit chaotic because obviously the automations aren't done, work isn't being sent to certain people. So it is quite important that there is a transfer of ownership of both of them when someone does leave or if somebody just moves within different teams from that board, say. Next is just a small feature that I thought was quite interesting. So if we go to our marketplace, so our app store, so as I'm sure a lot of you have looked at this, and there's hundreds of different apps that we have here that we can use, but they've actually added a filter button, so it just makes it easier and quicker for you to find exactly what it is that you're looking for. So say if I was to click on integrations, and obviously we want what's cheapest or best. So if we want to look at whatever free plans are available, so you can actually then, it will populate anything specific to you that's free and available to your account. So it's just a small update and a small added feature that they've made, but I think it's quite effective. And then I'm thinking, so I think one of my favorite views, an update that they've made to is the Kanban view. So this is the board that I'm working from, we'll say. And if I want to add a Kanban view, which is, we'll say, Martin, maybe one of the popular ones, especially with project management and different sprints and stuff. So if we add this Kanban view to this, so this is running off, first off, this is running off my statuses. So you can see here I've got status 1, status 2, and you can actually change that by over here in the settings. Click on here, you can change here which of the statuses. It will automatically default to status 1, but if you wanted to flip between status 2, depending on what you're working on, that there is where you do it. But the added feature that they've improved here is that they've added this battery widget, which I think is quite cool. So you can just quickly zone in, because obviously I've got lots of statuses here, and if we can just flip on across, see the cute puppies, we can basically just zone in on what it is exactly that you want to work on that day, we'll say. And another good feature is to be able to hide anything that you don't want to be visible on here. So we can actually just take away what we don't want to work on, and again, just like zone in and feature on the workload that we do have, the statuses that we need to amend. So yeah, just another quick way for you to zone in on the workload that you have and what you're working on, basically. So yeah, they're the things that I thought were kind of stood out to me for the last quarter that I thought were pretty cool. But as Martin says, there's features added all the time, and whether they be small ones or big ones, I think sometimes it's like little dogs, the smaller ones are more effective than the bigger ones. So I think there's lots of things that have been released that are pretty cool, but they're just a few of the ones that I thought were extra interesting. So if there's any questions on them. Well, if there's not any questions, I can hand it back to yourself, Martin.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. That's great, really interesting. Thanks for that. So I'll go through a few more, and again, we'll take any questions along the way or at the end. So happy to do those. Let me share my screen, and I will show you a few features that I thought were interesting. You can see my screen, can you?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
It's cool. Okay, great. So just a couple of items that I came across which I thought were quite interesting. So one is about duplicating a workspace. So if you've set up a particular workspace to handle a particular project or process that you've got, and you may have a certain number of boards in it, dashboards, automations, all kinds of different things set up within your workspace, and you want to reuse that workspace for a new project or a new process that follows the same one. This is an example then of how you can do that. So this is just an example of a CRM workspace. It could be anything at all. So I've got in here, I've got my deals, I've got my contacts, and you can see I've got some automations and so on set up in here. So on this particular board here, I've got 9 automations currently set up in here. So I want to reuse this workspace and reuse these automations on a new project. So what I can do is I can actually I can save this whole workspace as a template. So you can see it here, click on the 3 dots, save as template, and it's now going to save that whole workspace, columns, statuses, automations, anything else I've got set up as a template. So that's been done now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a new workspace. So I'm going to create a new workspace, add a workspace. So Martin demo. Here's my new workspace, currently nothing in it. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to choose from templates. There are, as you probably know, loads of templates in here covering all kinds of different aspects of it. But what I want to look at here are templates created in your account, which is this one just here. Click on that. And here I can see my Martin CRM Test Pro, which I just created as a template. So I'm going to use that one, use that template. And it's going to recreate all that template blank. So not with the same data in it, but with the same layout, with the same automations and everything in it for me in my new workspace. Take a moment or two. And here we go. Here is my new workspace, exactly the same format as before. Oh, it has actually brought across the context. Okay, I didn't think it would do that. Okay, so might need some amendment on that one. I can delete all the context if I want to. But crucially, all my automations are here. All my columns are here exactly the same as before. So just one feature which I thought was interesting. So that's one. The next one I want to look at then is this one here. So there's a new analytics aspect to WorkForms. So if you're not familiar with WorkForms are how we can basically create a public-facing survey or questionnaire that can be set to automatically populate a Monday board. So we use it for all kinds of different things. In this particular example, we have it set up to do to book desks in our office. We've got more people than desks, so if you're going into the office, you need to book a desk. And here's the form we use to do that. So you pick when you're going to be there, who you are, what dates you need, etc., etc. And that populates a board and books out that desk for that particular day. So the new thing, which I want to show you, which is across any work form, is some of the analytics that we've got. So when I go into edit here, I've now got a new tab here, which is analyze. So if I click into analyze, I've got a couple of different analytics that I can now see about my work form. So click on analytics here. I can see here total number of views, total number of submissions, completion rate, how long it's taking people to submit it. 2 minutes seems quite long, if I'm honest, for to book a desk. So maybe we need to look at something there. Maybe something's confusing it. We can see by country where people are booking from. So most of us are in Ireland. So our office is in Ireland, so that's not surprising. But actually, we've got some from Greece and some from Portugal. So we've got colleagues who work in other countries who are booking desks. So it's giving us an indication on that. We can see the browser they've used, and we can also see the device. So it's 100% desktop. So right now, they're not booking that from a mobile device. Just some analytics, I guess, which we can use to maybe improve our work form. So it definitely looks like there's some complication that's causing people to call 2 minutes to book a desk, which, as I said, seems quite long to me. But just interesting to get a picture in terms of some of those analytics behind the work forms. Obviously, depending upon what you're using it for and how many submissions you're getting, you may get you're going to get larger numbers of this. But quite an interesting way that you can do it, and just some different metrics that we can see. So we can see the desks that are being booked, what's most popular, and so on from there. So depending upon your form, obviously, it's going to show you different analytics on that. But just some further detail behind work forms that's new. Right, I'm going to go into one more if there's questions on this then as well. So WorkDocs. Sorry, Amy.
Oh, I was just going to ask you a question actually on the previous feature that you had shown there. With the copying of the workspaces, is it, if we copy that workspace, but we don't want specific people to use it, can we lock that workspace, or how would the what would the workaround be around that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so I've recreated the workspace here. This Martin demo is a new workspace. And right now, if I have a look at in here, manage workspace, I can see the members. So right now, I'm the only member on this workspace. The previous one may have had other people on it. But right now, I've created the workspace and only I am on it. So I can go in now and I can invite new teams, new people into this new workspace. So it's not bringing across the users on my previous workspace.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so it's still be private to whoever it was. Okay, perfect.
Yes, I mean, currently anybody can find and search for its workspace because it's not set as private. So I can change it here to a closed one if I wanted to. But I can invite specific people or specific teams to my new workspace who can be completely different to the ones I had on my previous one.
Brilliant. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not at all. So back into my WorkForms. Yes, a new feature just on WorkForms. So WorkForms, I think, is possibly still a little sorry, WorkDocs, excuse me. Too many works. WorkDocs is I think quite an underutilized feature still. So for those of you that don't know, WorkDocs is sort of like a Word document, but much more powerful than that. So what it enables us to do is to create a document, but also embed boards, embed details into that WorkDoc, create tasks from it, update boards. It can be used for, in this example, we're using it as a discovery questionnaire. It can be used for meeting notes. It can be used for setting agendas. It can be used for creating follow-on actions from it. So really quite powerful in terms of what we can do, and I think still quite underutilized. So I'd encourage you, if you're not already using WorkDocs, to absolutely have a look at it. It is quite a useful feature that can be used for all kinds of different things. One small thing I'm just going to touch on today, if you are using it, there's a lot of editing that we can do with it. So if I want to edit this particular WorkDoc, so I might want to change just general layout of it, maybe to match other documents, or particularly the marketing team, if you want to match it with other material you've got in terms of look and feel and so on. So one of the things that we can do is we can edit all kinds of things in terms of, font and layout and so on. And we can also do things like cover image. So we've got a cover image on here, and there's a whole range of Monday library ones that we can pick from to match whatever particularly you want to do. We can change any of those. Or I can even upload my own photos. So if I want to upload an image, go into here, I can pick out a particular image and I can upload it into my WorkDoc. So that's just the team outside the office in Dublin. Apply that, and that's now part of my WorkDoc and just gives a different look and feel to my WorkDoc. Small little feature, but I think WorkDocs is definitely something worth looking at more if you're not specific or not already using it. So we've got a couple of minutes left. We've covered a few different aspects there. So if anyone has some further questions, we'd like to hear from you now.
I think there is a hand up.
Hi, yes, sorry, I didn't quite understand with the WorkDocs. So would I use that for something like if I wanted to send an email out to some of my customers saying winter program works, is that when I would use that kind of form?
So the WorkDocs is more like a Word doc, I guess, would be a good way of describing it. So you might have details around specifically what you're doing with that board or with that project. You could have meeting notes, you could have a summary in terms of what that project is, but it's a working document, so you can add people and tasks to it. So for example, a common use case would be in a meeting, you would take notes, and what it enables you to do is take notes in the WorkDoc and then assign them to people, users on your Monday account in that WorkDoc, and then create a board from that so they can, be assigned that task and tick it off. So the next meeting you have, then you can review your meeting notes from last time, and you can view embedded in the WorkDoc the board, which shows whether that particular task has been completed or not completed, whether those actions have taken place. So that would be more typical usage. If you're looking to email then yeah, you'd be looking at some of the email functionality in terms of integrating with Outlook or something, and then you could do emails to customers from there, and you can set up templates and so on in that example. So slightly different use case there.
I would tend to use mine for like preparing for meetings that I have with clients. I'd set up so you can set up an agenda on them. And if I just share my screen even with this Word doc. So even in here, so you can start from scratch. This is what it so you can, it'll actually populate any of this information for you. So if you put in like maybe a project plan, it will set it has templates already set in there for you as well. So that's kind of, I use it for preparing for my meetings, if that is any help in any way. And that's kind of what I use it for. But again, like as Martin said, you can tag people in it as well. So if there's a preparation in some, if there's a document that you want to have that you want to share information with, or if somebody has something to do from that task to do, then you can tag people in it as well, which is really good.
Yes, thanks, Amy. That's cool.
And is it possible to, be specific to projects, like use this based on specific projects, or does it work like a dashboard where you have just one main file and then you then have to manually always go back to update, or how does that work?
No, you could have an unlimited number of work docs. So whatever you need it for, you can have. So in the same way that you can have multiple boards in a workspace, you can have as many docs as you like. So covering, so you could have one every week, every meeting, whatever you need. You can have as many as you need for that.
Okay.
I would have one. I would actually have one specific to each call that I have with a client. So, so it would be by client and by date. That's how I would use them.
Okay. Makes sense.
And can you then attach them if you are doing that, say with the CRM, if you're doing that, you've got a meeting, can you then you attach them to, so you can go and look at them as a file later? So if you were doing it for, I'm talking to Amy later on today, I need to prepare some notes, then I can attach them to you within a CRM. So if next time I have a meeting, I can see what we did last time. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you could put them into, so if you had a CRM and you had a list of contacts or an opportunity or a customer, whatever it might be, you could have a file, a column in that board, and you could have all of your work docs in that particular column. So you could see the historicals, you could see last week's meeting notes or this week's meeting notes or the meeting notes from 6 months ago. You could have all of them against the contact or account in a regular board. The link to them will be in there. Yeah.
You can export it as well as a PDF, and that's also an option. So you can export it as a PDF and then attach it into the board that you want it to be in as well.
Yeah, so lots that you can do with it. As I said, I do feel it's kind of an underutilized feature, so just worth having a look at. Maybe something we need to delve into a little more on another call then as well. We're rapidly running out of time as always. Just one thing which I do want to mention, really important. We're going to have an actual in-person Monday user group session next month, which is going to be in the Monday offices in London. So we'll share details with everybody around that, but just to let you know about that. So it's going to be the 15th of November, Wednesday, 15th of November, in person. So not online, in person in the Monday offices in London. We'll share more details on it. We'll share the full agenda on that. We're going to have some guest speakers specifically from Monday coming along, giving us much deeper insight into some of the new features that are coming. Great opportunity, obviously, to get some more detailed answers to any questions you might have, or talk to a product expert in person. So quite different. Really excited about it. Hopefully, if you can make it, be great. We'll try and do one in Dublin then as well. I think probably next year, but this is going to be our first in-person one we've done. So looking forward to that. If you check in the chat now, Letitia has put in the registration link, so you can register for that now. So I encourage you to do that now, just to keep you up to speed with the details. We will share more information on it, but definitely something worth maybe bookmarking the calendar. It'd be great to meet some of you in person if we can make it.
Definitely.
So that's all we've got time for today. Thanks a million for attending again. As I said, we'll send out the recording afterwards. Any questions on this or any other aspect, please get in touch with myself or Amy. It'd be great to hear from you and see how we can help you further, and hopefully look forward to meeting some of you in person next month then as well.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Martin.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Martin.